So I'm here with Skech. He's a year and a half old horse, but people are always asking what to do with the yearling. So I'm going to give you a series of videos that you can look at, little short videos that you can do. But this is stuff I would do with any horse. But there's some real key points that we've got to really wrap our heads around. If you really want to develop a horse, if you really want to find the potential in any horse, there's some certain things that you got to remember. And this is just going to be a few of them. But in any horse's case, and especially in this guy's case, when I got him, he spent most of his time running over you like he didn't know you existed. He had zero fear of humans because he'd been really looked after and and pedaled and cutted and cuddled and whatever. And I don't know what else went on, but I know what went on enough to know by his behavior. He would kind of just run into you. He'd just walk off through the halter. He was halter broke, but not because to me, halter broke, the horse stays inside the halter. He's not dragging me down the trail. So at this young of age, he was dragging me down the trail. And if you didn't keep up, the rope would come tight and it would swing him into you and he'd run into you and he didn't care about that. And then the worst thing that he did was he would bite you probably once or more a second. He was like bite, 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 bite constantly. And I was just ducking and diving around. Like, oh, look out. You couldn't put a halter on without trying to grab the halter shank and put it in his mouth. You couldn't take the halter off. He's just busy going like this all the time. He did not look like this at all. He was just this fussy little, just going after everything. And I'm ducking and diving the whole time around him. In fact, he got me so twitchy that my own horses that come up real nice and they want a nice pet on the nose, I would see one of mine coming up real nice and my head would go, oh, he's going to bite me. He's going to try to bite me. That would be the thought in my head. And I go, oh, my horses aren't trying to bite me. This guy, however, that I just picked up, he sure as heck was going to bite you and anybody else that come close, and anything that's standing anywhere, he's going to have it in his mouth. So anyways, that's all bad stuff. They should not happen. And that's not prey. That's not normal prey animal stuff. He was so unworried about humans that he just had no regard for humans whatsoever. And so we're the predators, they're the prey animals. They're supposed to be a little bit worried about us, but they're not. And people go, oh, that's so cute. He's so nice. Look at he's following you everywhere. He's right in your pocket. Oh, look, him nibbling and biting on everything. And it wasn't like he was taking his mouth and go like this, but he would if you stayed there. I'm sure he'd grab skin, but he's grabbing my shirt, grabbing my coat, grabbing my stick, grabbing the lead line. That just nothing. You're just constantly jumping around trying to stay out of his mouth. And he couldn't stand still. so so we got to remember, we're not doing our horses any favor if we turn them into horses like that. I got to be able to pet this guy's nose without him biting me. This is his last place that that you can kind of pet without getting bit. This is where you can only pet him a little bit there, and then he thinks about it. Oh, maybe I should bite you. But he's getting better all the time. But there's no way I could stand this length of time without him chewing on me. He wouldn't just stand over there and just be calm. He'd have to be fidgeting. So this series of videos, what I'm going to do in the series of videos is I'm going to tell no lies to this horse. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through. I believe the worst thing you can do to your horse is say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and not do it. The other worst thing that you can do is try to get a horse to do something and not follow through and get it done so that the horse knows what he's supposed to do. If I want him to back up, he's got to back up. I can't kind of half-heartedly try to get him to back up and then he doesn't back up. Then he doesn't know what it was all about. We stop and he goes, well, I don't know what that was all about. It just does him no favors whatsoever. We want to build a horse's confidence, his respect, and his understanding. And so when we do confidence building stuff, we might rub things all over him. We might wave things around. We get him used to noise and sound and the feel of different things. But if that's the only thing you do is rub them all down and put tarps on them and throw balls at them and all stuff, which I don't throw balls at horses, but I mean, people do these things, the horses get dull, not desensitized. And so in the videos, I'll tell you about the desensitizing as opposed to dulling. I'm not trying to dull a horse. I'm trying to sensitize him to my requests, desensitize him to things that horses are normally scared of. I don't want to be scared of things. I want him to move because there's rhythmic pressure or steady pressure being applied to him, but not because there's rhythmic motion. So we got to be clear about that. There's going to be 7 patterns I'm going to show you, and the 7 patterns are on the online deal, so it tells them in explicit detail, but I wanted to show you what a yearling could look like. This is what a yearling could look like. This is all the things. There's many more things that I'm going to show you, but it gives you an idea. This is what a yearling could act like, stand like, and he can have all these skills in his pocket that I'll show you in these series of this yearling series. and getting him to just stand. So I get him to go over some obstacles, stand on some obstacles. So getting him to stand on things all day long is not going to develop this horse anywhere as near as using the 7 patterns and actually getting to his feet. So as you watch these series, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about the 7 patterns. Getting good at the 7 patterns. If you did nothing else but get good at 7 patterns, you'd be way ahead of somebody that waves things at their horse all day long, or somebody that stands their horses on blocks of wood all day long. That's a fact. That's a true story. So if you only got time to do something, you only got a little bit of time to do some stuff, well then work on the 7 patterns, get them good. The other things are kind of an afterthought, fun stuff to go play around with, but literally the 7 patterns are that's where the gold's at, to get good at those things.